I've been feeling kinda cooped up. I'm trying to get some fresh air.
There seems to be a running trend through many hip-hop albums, not all of them, I'd like to hope that it's a minority, but it is enough of a population for me to complain, where the track listing seems intent on including some kind of an audible skit, where the artist or front person of a project receives some kind of sexual gratification, vivid sound effects and all. At no point during any of these albums have I heard this and understood its inclusion from an artistic standpoint. In fact, most of the time it comes right the hell out of nowhere, like a condom full of milk in a basketball storage unit. So now I have no question to ask next, but towards Anderson .Paak, and that is, why on earth did you feel the need to join them? I'm sorry that I had to begin the review with that of all things, and before you point out that I may have some biases in excusing other artists I like who have done this on well-respected projects, it was stupid when The Game did it was stupid when Biggie did it, and even De La Soul gets a bit of a fist thrown at them. The problem with it on Oxnard is that it didn't even show us the courtesy of throwing it on its own separate interlude, and instead tacks it onto the end of the track, like some kind of end-of-video ad roll on Bang Bros. So Paak may be a smooth talker with a raspy voice, as satisfying to hear exclaim, "Yes, Lord!" with the audible texture of a cinnamon hot chocolate, because it's just that good. But he is as capable of autopilot mediocrity as much as anyone else, as shown by his XXL cipher. Anyways, Oxnard is good. I think it's funky with a magical swagger about it. Paak is naturally charismatic, and his flow as well as singing on the opening track, Chase, should prove that right out of the gate, while lush instrumentation flutters around him like horny butterflies. You see, while 2016's Malibu sounded as if it was set next to a dreamy waterfall, Oxnard sounds as if it is set in a summery drama film. It's only a shame that the frantic and fun single Bubblin' wasn't included on here. I reckon it might have fit quite nicely. Speaking of fitting quite nicely, Head Low is about having sex in a car or a cinema. I guess it's up to the two where they do it. I'm not going to be there to judge. Oh wait, I am. I'm literally hearing it unfold, and Paak isn't too partial to subtlety when describing it. I don't really mind. I think it works for the guy. He's always able to pull off that kind of sleaze. So imagine my joy when Tints rolls around with a genuinely hot groove in Kendrick Lamar by its side, with Paak singing about how the guy needs tinted windows. At first I thought Paak was addressing his sudden rise to fame and the greater need for privacy with all the cameras and microphones on him, but then I considered, wait, let's think about the context of this album. Maybe he just needs tinted windows to stop onlookers from seeing that he's getting a blowy in the front seat of his wheels. It's a good thing that none of it is being recorded and distributed to public crowds then. That would be embarrassing. I've made it sound as if Oxnard is the musical equivalent to being horny on Maine, but that would be unfair, since Paak makes some pretty tongue-in-cheek stabs at socio-political themes like gun reform and Prezi of the United States blonde-haired Barry. I don't exactly think this album is trying to tackle these in detail, more bring attention to them in ways that are as charismatic and swaggery as the rest of the album, but still take them a little bit seriously. And so Six Summers did feel enlightening and did make me chuckle, if for its cheeky spin on the infamous Gil Scott-Heron quote, and the rest of the verses are surprisingly coherent, so thumbs up there. At this point I'd just like to describe the rest of the album, so let's just go. Later on the album, with Dr. Dre, Paak starts discussing hip-hop economics, and by that I really mean Dr. Dre discusses why his idea of flexing wealth is better than yours. On Brothers Keeper, Pusha T tributes his brother from Days of Clips, a track which may as well have ended after he finished rapping. Snoop Dogg has a feature here, but let's be honest, where does he not? I'm convinced at this point that he's omnipresent wherever a solid check is available. J. Cole appears on easily the most essential track here. No, I'm just kidding. It's easily the most forgettable, as decently lush production value, and Anderson .Paak's voice waffles like uncooked batter over a cold plate. Sweet Chick is a fairly fun track, but then I realized that Anderson and BJ the Chicago Kid are just chatting about girls like they want to pipe. It really pushed the boat out with that one. It's a good thing that the song sounds bloody wonderful, while I have to listen to you map out gamer girl fantasies. It is the penultimate track, Cheers, that I find pretty touching in concept. Though its soulful funk ethos is to be expected at that point in the album, it's Paak and Q-Tip's tributes to hip-hop peers Phife Dawg and Mac Miller that give the two chances to reflect upon themselves briefly and wish to live the rest of their lives as fulfillingly as they can. Paak spits perhaps his best rap flow in the project, and the way that the instrumental sheds itself into a slower, flowery daze when Q-Tip hops in for some honesty hour bars is a very powerful moment. All it really needed was a sultry saxophone solo to finish it off. Oh wait, that's right, there was one. I feel as though with this review there has been enough to discuss on this album, but despite that I haven't come out of it feeling too satisfied. I mean sure, I liked the album, let's throw a mildly stimulated 6 out of 10 into the fold, but I've only said I liked it and not loved it. What will it take to bring this album to that level? Well, I don't know truly. I mean Oxnard has good songs, but good songs make a good album, as opposed to great songs that will collectively make a great album, and so on and so forth. It has gorgeous production and a great billing of talented artists, but that doesn't necessarily make a massive stunner unless you have the ability to make all of it worth listening to. And with a lot of this just feeling very standard fare, I can already feel a lot of these tracks fading away from memory. What was I even reviewing again?